Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
When I first heard about Pearl Harbor, I was at church, right after church. And at that time, I was 16 years old. I didn't even know where Pearl Harbor was. I was 18 when I went in the service. I quit high school at midterm in my senior year. Actually, I was drafted. I did not volunteer. And the reason that I quit school, I knew that I was going to be drafted, and I knew that I would need some money. Well, I got my greetings from Uncle Sam to go to Fort McClellan for a physical exam. We stayed over there 2 days. They made us think that we were getting to choose what we wanted. A friend and I decided that we would go together if we could, stay in the same branch of service, and we decided on the Army. So after our physical, we both passed the physical. We were in line to talk to the man at the desk who would tell you where you were going, and as he was in front of me, they asked him where he wanted to go, and he said Army. And he said, okay, you're in the Army, and they stamped his paper as Army. I was the next man. He says, where do you want to go? I said, I want to go to the Army. He stamped my papers. He said, you're in the Navy. At 2 o'clock in the morning, we were met by 9 E-boats. Those E-boats, that E stands for enemy. What they called it, I don't know, but the only thing we had on it was E-boats. And they were similar to our PT boats, only they were quite a bit larger and much more powerful. Each one carried 2 torpedoes. At 2 o'clock in the morning, our general alarm sounded. Well, everybody thought, well, we're at sea, and this is routine. This is the morning sunrise battle station alarm. And everybody just taking their time like they normally did when they thought that was what was happening. And a guy came running through, and he says, hurry, this is the real thing. The ship has been torpedoed. We came to our battle stations quite a bit quicker than we normally would under those circumstances. And the ship, the last in line, had been torpedoed, and we could see the fire. A short time after that, the ship behind us, and by this time the ships had kind of gotten out of line in the chaos of that moment, and it had come up close to our starboard side in the rear, the starboard being the right hand side, very close, too close for comfort, because it was danger of the ships getting together. After that ship took a torpedo, I could see men and equipment going end over end up in the air. They were that close. And don't see the fire. We saw people jumping into the water. And then, just a moment after the first torpedo hit, they took the second torpedo. After that, in 7 minutes, that ship sunk. It went to the bottom of the English Channel. There were 749 men killed. 2 ships sunk. one was damaged and had it was 17 men killed on the one that stayed afloat, and they managed to lower their LCVPs, which were landing crafts, and they towed that ship into shore. We went across the channel. Took approximately 12 hours for an LST to cross from Falmouth, England to Omaha Beach. As day broke the next morning, I think everybody was surprised on every ship when they looked out and you could just about walk across the channel on the number of ships that was there. As far as you could see by eye, it was just ship after ship. Instead of landing the LSC on that day, we got orders to anchor about 1/4 mile offshore and to begin to unload our troops by small boat, which was the LCVP. I was put on the LCVP as the man to lower the ramp on the boat. We had 30 troops on the boat. We got in near the beach, and we had 6 lifeboats, 6 of those boats. We got in near the beach, and we met the obstacles that they had put in, rails driven in the water and things like that, and our boat slammed into one of those. And when the water was actually red with blood, and the men that evidently went down, and as I said, went down and did not come up, probably were hit with gunfire before they got off the boat. And you know, you've seen been at the beach when the water would the waves would come in and you'd see the white foam at the end of the wave come up, the last thing come up on the beach. That was red with water, red with blood. And when the wave would go back, you could see the red streak in the sand. I don't care how much training you had, you still get scared because you just think, well, I'm going to be next. And you depend on a lot more than just yourself, your skipper, and your mates. You depend on God. I did a lot of praying, and I'm not ashamed to tell anybody because everybody on that ship prayed. During that time, I prayed, the prayer that I prayed was, just get me out of this mess. If you get me out of this mess, I'll be happy. But you know, during that time, in that small part of the war where these 749 men were killed, there were 250,000 men at the invasion. They landed 156,000 the first day. The rest of them was on the ships, and already Air Force had already dropped the paratroopers inland, and they were fighting back toward the beach. Well, I'm satisfied everybody was praying that same prayer. Well, God didn't answer that. So all I said was, if you just take away the fear, I'll be satisfied. And He did.